Okay, so how did President Park spend her New Year's? Well, she invited the Blue House press corps to the Blue House for a press conference. In that press conference, in person this time, denied all allegations against her. Remember that we saw in previous press conferences, she made apologies. She said that she would resign if that's what the National Assembly wanted. She said that she was sorry that people close to her may have gotten out of hand and may have done things that were not correct. But this time around, it seemed like she's going for it. She's going for the gold. She is not buckling down. There were people who said after the previous press conferences that, oh, don't believe President Park when she says that she's going to resign. She is stubborn and she is not a person who likes to lose. She's going to go till the end. Well, from this press conference, we did get to see that side of President Park more explicitly in her words. She said that the allegations that were lobbed against her were basically exaggerations and rumors printed in the media. Regarding the Samsung merger, she said that it was just a matter of public interest at the time. She had no hands in that matter as well. And then on the charges that she was getting plastic surgery during the Seoul ferry sinking tragedy, well, she said that she was just working from home, and her home is in the Blue House compound. She said that she was working from home and getting updates, and that's why she wasn't anywhere to be seen until the end of the day. And then she said that it's embarrassing that she has to reveal every single medication or pill that she's ever taken. And so she's basically saying that she has no culpability or guilt in any of the allegations or charges lobbed against her, especially those related to impeachment. And so the interesting thing is that she's, in my mind, is creating buckets. So there's a bucket of her and a bucket of Choi Soon-sil and a bucket of any other related parties from the Blue House staff and any type of corruption that basically I think she's trying to establish that these buckets are never ever going to be connected. You know, my cup does not poureth into your cup. I think that's what she's trying to establish here and convey to the public that there is no direct link in any type of these corruption charges. And so this is perhaps a time where she could make that case with some relevancy, but what we're seeing from the media, National Assembly, are continued investigations that are helping try to uncover the evidence that does link those buckets together. Now, the reason why I would say like the Korean public though does believe that there is a link, like, you know, this does get poured into this cup and vice versa. And the reason why I say that is that for Choi Soon-sil to have gotten away with what she had gotten away with, and basically having access to the top conglomerates and getting money for very unknown and questionable sports foundations and relatively new sports foundations in the amounts that she did, really does mean she has some sort of back. And back means like connections behind her that she can go into the room with and say, yo, I am somebody. For example, if you go someplace like a doctor's office or any kind of place where people don't know you and you go to the reception, they ask you, 어떻게 오셨어요? This basically means like, literally means how did you come, but in colloquial terms, it basically means, hello, how can I help you? But I always thought that term was so weird. Like, how did you come here? I was like, by subway? But they don't mean that at all. Basically say like, how can I help you, or why are you here? But quite literally, it means, how did you come here? And the way that I interpret that is like, who the heck are you to be stepping into here, this office, and what should I do for you, and to what extent should I help you out based on who you are? How did you come here? So in the old days, if you went to the palace, it was very clear how you got there. If you got through the gates to the inner sanctum, you got there through a person, access, somebody's recommendation, some sort of title, some sort of back that lets you be taken seriously. And so basically, how did Choi Soon-sil get there? That is the connection that people have already established in their head as basically the trial is done in people's heads. Now the question is whether there is enough evidence that links that in the court of law to connect the two buckets. And so I've talked about the blacklist. And I think that is actually one of the biggest chances and shots that they have in order to link a bucket, because perhaps this wall is breaking down. We saw the National Assembly go very aggressive last week into this blacklist, and it's clear that the National Assembly does not dig without having some information, and they have this information that we in the public may not have at the same time. So the reason why I say that is that today, there was an article in the Hangyeore Shinmun, or Hangyeore newspaper, and it's a left-leaning newspaper, saying that last week that somebody from the Special Investigation Team said that there is now evidence that there was an order from above, and of course above the Culture Ministry, and so above a ministry usually implies the Blue House, saying that there was an order from above to destroy any related evidence at the Culture Ministry about the Cultural Ministry's blacklist. And so this is the first time that any information like that has come out of the Special Investigation Unit or the Special Prosecutors Unit. So what this signals is that there is information being uncovered that has not been released to the public yet. And so the fear of the public is that by the time the deadline pops up, if we don't know what's been discovered between now and then, what if we get to the end and they say, oops, there's not that much evidence, and then basically everybody's upset. So I think people have seen that sort of a situation happen in the past, so that's why we see a lot of people in the media and then also the National Assembly taking upon themselves to help in this investigation. And so they're really driving and trying to crack at all the barriers to see if there's evidence that pops out. So with the Ministry of Culture, we saw that the current culture minister, Yoon-sun, said that she had never seen a blacklist, never made a blacklist. The reason why she was asked that was that she is being accused of being one of the people who was heavily involved in creating this blacklist when she was working in the Blue House for President Park. This was about 2014, 2015 when she was in the Blue House. And the reason why this charge has a lot of weight is that a previous culture minister, the Minister of Culture, a previous Minister of Culture who only stayed in the job for like a year and 3 months, cracked. He spilled the beans. He said before he left in June 2014, he saw with his own eyes this blacklist. And then in July, he left. And basically the story goes is that he did not want to comply to these demands that are essentially, now that we see of it, impeachable. So I always thought it was odd when he left what seemingly seemed so abruptly and under such tense circumstances. If you just saw his face, it looked like he wanted to say something but couldn't. And this is, I think, also related to the collective fury. It's like everybody who has ever been wronged or been in a power situation where you had to shut your mouth and you saw bad guys get away with it, this is now everybody just, I think, just like recompensing for that pent-up frustration and guilt that they didn't speak up. And so he's speaking up, and he said that there indeed was a blacklist at the Cultural Ministry. And then we fast forward to last week, and one of the representatives who remained anonymous from the special prosecution team told a newspaper that there was an order from high up above to get rid of any evidence of the blacklist at the cultural ministry. So here we have this testimony from that bookends this time frame, and also really shows that there may be a link to the Blue House. So now we really have to see whether that is linked directly to the president or directly linked to the president's chief of staff or any other high-ranking member that President Park had hired. So basically what we heard from President Park this weekend is basically, where's the evidence, boo? And the other people are all swarming in trying to get this evidence for the team. The leader of the Democratic Party, or the Minju Party of Korea, said that we saw very strange behavior from the president. She even said that elementary school students and junior high school students know what's right or wrong more than the president does. And on top of that, she said that President Park showed through this press conference that she is willing to take it to the end and destroy the country in the process. Also, what I heard is that the reporters were not allowed to bring in their smartphones or other cameras. There was just one pool camera, and pool camera basically means like one approved news outlet or cameraman is allowed to go in, and everybody else, like all the other networks, have to share that same footage. So they didn't want any live broadcasting, just in case, presumably, that the president made some sort of error, and she wanted to basically be in control of the situation. But we did see her make a very concerted effort to be closer, in physical proximity to the reporters, although it looked a little still odd because they were all standing around this long, like, Jesus type table with like food laid out as if they were going to have like a luncheon, but then there was like 5 times as many people who showed up, and they had to just crowd around the table. Nobody looked or even touched the food. I thought that was a little weird. So yeah, that's how Korea started off its 2017. How did you start off 2017? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you're doing well. Have a great and fantastic start to the first week of the new year. Bye-bye, all.